Hi, I'm Don Carr, and this is Chicken Pickin' 101. Today's topic is how to get started. Welcome to the very first Chicken Pickin' 101. I'm going to start with basic licks and technique stuff to build a foundation. Now, so we're all on the same page, I'm going to attempt to draw some parameters around what defines chicken picking. We all know what it sounds like when we hear it, but what are the specifics? I mean, guitar sound, technique, musical context, note choice are all part of the equation, but to me it's more of a vocabulary. Some of those defining factors are accents, note length, and articulation. All right, well, let me show you. I'll play the same lick in two different ways. Here's the first way. And here's the second way. Okay, one more time. First way. And here's the second way. The first way sounds like it could be a country, rockabilly, or classic rock lick, depending on the context. The second way is undoubtedly chicken picking. Now, the only real differences are accents, articulation, and note length. The plucked notes are accented because they have a different articulation, and that varies the note length. The juxtaposition of the plucked and the picked notes makes the difference. Now, the chicken part is because the plucked notes sound like a hen's cluck, and if you've ever spent any time around chickens that aren't in the grocery store, you know what I mean. You'll notice that I went from flat pick in the first example to picking fingers in the second. This could lead you to think that the technique is the difference, but you can play with your fingers and not chicken pick. So to keep this from turning into a debate about finer points, the takeaway here is chicken picking is a sound, style, vocabulary that you are making with your hands, and it starts in your mind. So with that, let's check out the first lick. Here it is slow. So you'll notice in the right hand, the picking hand, it's the middle finger plucked for everything except the low E and the low A string. So in the left hand we have, then we have a slight bend. Then we have a hammer-on the D string, open to 2. And then another hammer-on the A string, open to 2. And then you'll also notice that occasionally I put some grace notes in with the right hand. A lot of times that's just the pick grabbing the low E string. This lick is from a song called Susie Q. You may be familiar with the Creedence Clearwater Revival version of this song, but the original version was recorded by Dale Hawkins in 1957, featuring a very young James Burton on guitar. Definitely check out this recording and listen to the attitude. The details really make the difference. In fact, listen to anything James Burton played on, especially from the early days, and it'll give you a great foundation. The picking hand technique is where a lot of this is going on. Now, there's many ways to do it. I use a flat pick and fingers, usually 2 and 3, and occasionally my pinky. My hand is slightly collapsed, and the side of my hand rests on the bridge usually, but it moves to facilitate what strings I'm playing. Now, the angle of my hand might tilt too, depending on what direction I'm playing and which direction I'm moving. Like if I'm going this way, it might tilt back that way, maybe a little bit that way. Kind of exaggerating here, but you get the idea. There's a bit of a claw motion in my fingers, moving mostly at the first 2 knuckles. Let me see if that's probably a little better view of that for you. The side of my hand, fingers, and my fretting hand are all involved in muting, and overall I'm making small movements and everything stays pretty loose. This is my version. Everybody is different. Hand size, arm length, how you hold the guitar and pick, and more importantly, what's comfortable. Please watch as many players as you can and observe how they approach picking hand technique. They'll all be different. Experiment and discover what works for you. It's definitely your individual journey. More James Burton, this time from a classic Merle Haggard song called Tonight the Bottle Let Me Down. It's the last 4 bars of the intro section, and the chords are 2 bars of A and 2 bars of D. So again, listen to the original recording. It's all attitude. There are great licks all over this song from James and from Ralph Mooney on steel. Slowly. So I'm starting in the 12th and the 9th fret on the B and the E string, and I'm bending the B string up to a C sharp. And I pick the bent note and I pluck the high note. Or I should say the high string. And the same thing down on an A, except for you rake into it and then follow it up with a. So that's finger pick, finger. So rake pick, finger, and then tuned down to low D, obviously. This is an exercise to help isolate the pick and finger's motion. Now it's an easy fretting hand so you can focus on the picking. It's strict alternate picking to help you build independence. And so I've made a really easy pattern with the right hand. I'm going to do A minor pentatonic. So it's just 2 notes a string. And what we're going to do is we're going to play the first note with a pick. And then you hammer to the second note. And then we're going to play on the next string, we're going to play with our finger. And hammer, and then we're going to alternate and go back to the pick for the D string, and then finger, pick, finger, and then going backwards, you're going to do the opposite. You're going to start with the pick, and then finger. You can switch it up and start with your finger and then pick, and you can also use your third finger instead of your second finger. Just whatever you do, be intentional and consistent with the method. Thanks for checking out the very first Chicken Pickin' 101. Hope it helps you get started. There will be more episodes, so come on back. Feel free to leave a comment below, and if you'd like to see more videos like this, please like and subscribe. I'm Don Carr for Sweetwater, from my basement, saying thanks.